out. Details on page 3 of the Daily Guide newspaper comes with a picture of the two front runners, Erabna Orbin, and we have Nana Afriyie. You should see her breaking some dance on social media.
I'm happy they are both women. It means that whichever way it goes, whether green or blue, we are going to have another woman in parliament.
Yeah.
I want more women in parliament. So we wish them all the best, right?
Yeah, indeed. We see, may the best person win. I guess that's it. Lands Minister calls for 7-day ceasefire in EMP Azuma dispute. That fight is raging, but it appears that the Lands Ministry says if they can't find an amicable solution in 7 days, then they would come in and decide on the way forward.
You know, yesterday I was listening to a report I did with a colleague about 6-7 years ago on this Azuma Resources area. 5,000 square kilometers, displaced farmers. There were issues to do with compensation payments and all that. Back then, a farmer told us that they took his 3 acres and gave him only 12 cedis as compensation. In the coming weeks, we need to go up there to the Upper West.
There's outstanding work that ought to be done.
Yes, and talk to the communities. We are talking about EMP, Azuma Resources, but the people who are going to be affected are the community members, the various communities around. Who is telling their story and asking for better for them.
We need to project that. There's good news, at least respite you want to call it, as one napped over immigration officer's murder. We all learnt of that tragic event of the late Stephen Kin Amwa, who is an immigration officer. Looks like there's a suspect who's in the custody of the security agencies in connection with that. Jealous man burns 200 houses in Ahojo. And you might want to learn a bit more about that story later on here on the review.
This is to do with the slum issue in Ahojo. Yes, and the update is that a 38-year-old man whose girlfriend was leaving him got angry and set fire to her kiosk, and it spread to the other kiosks around. That's sad. Anyway, Daily Graphic: dispute over chieftaincy's tool ties security in Kwewu. There's a photo of Dasibre Ekwamwa Ejapon II and Bafo Seakoto Dasibre Ekwamwa Boating III on the front page. Stage set for Blekuma North polling stations rerun. Erabna Orbin, Nana Afriyie, they are both on the front page of the Daily Graphic. And sterile men should avoid hot water baths. This according to an expert. Sterile men should avoid hot water baths. And Access Bank is supporting free sanitary pad initiative. They've made a donation to that effect. There's a photo of Professor Jana Nopukwajman, the Vice President, and Chizoma Okoli, Deputy Managing Director of Access Bank, and Yvette Atepe, board member of Access Bank, holding a check that Access Bank has given to the government of Ghana to support the sanitary pad initiative. Yeah,
our friends at Access, good morning. We need some of that check as well. Daily Gist: NPP fights NDC for Ablekuma North rerun election with 700,000 Ghana cedis. And I was telling you about the cash. It's flowing. I mean, no one is talking about
cedis
for the NPP side. I mean, no one is talking
Brian
about
the 200,000.
Yes,
Bamia is
410,000.
And Brian gave another 6,500
for coordinators.
Okay.
In fact, I was wondering why Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia decided to top up the 400,000 with 10,000. Because I was saying that's an odd number. Doc, you should send me that 10K and just and give the 40,000 to the rest.
The time we get matter.
So you know, the Daily Gist is doing the tabulation. 700,000 it is for the NPP, but no one seems to be talking about the NDC. I'm sure they
how
also.
Much is the NDC giving to?
They should be flying some things around.
How many men? How many? What do you call it? The cameras, body counts.
5K men.
Now let's
5K men, one slay queen.
You know, on this Ablekuma North donations, right? On Tuesday we spoke to Sechi Brown Reginald on the cath lab issue and the death of the doctor. And he says Bawumia, Educhum and Brian were all here when the country grieved the preventable death of the emergency physician just days ago. Not a word of support, but not a sincere gesture. Yet for today's elections in Ablekuma North, they are donating cheerfully.
But
it
if you're
forces
looking
you
at,
to ask, what really drives our politicians?
there's no doubt money is part of it, because if you take a look at what CDD has just released, their democracy capture index, and you go back to the political cost research that CDD has done, becoming a member of parliament is quite an expensive venture. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's around $40,000 plus for an MP.
That's about 4 million Ghana cedis.
That's a lot of money. So you really need a lot of money to become an MP, and it comes with a lot of cost, particularly when you have just 19 polling stations at stake. You want to make sure that you're not leaving anything to chance at all. The Daily Gist is still talking about President John Dramani Mahama. Mahama missing at Trump's West African president's meeting. Some would say, well, it's better our president didn't show up there because, Trump said, well, I don't have all of the time. Let's hurry up. Let's finish this meeting because I've got other meetings as well. So if you're adding on to 7 other presidents, I wonder if you have time to advance your course.
Yeah.
And maybe we should arrange and have President Donald Trump come to Ghana. That'll be a great one, could you? Isn't it?
Trump in Ghana.
Yeah, it would be amazing.
Yes.
Kweku Trump in
So
Ghana.
who called for that meeting? The West African president's
I'm
meeting?
suspecting.
It was Trump.
I'm suspecting that it may have been the State Department, but whichever way, we had 7 presidents there, and listening to them clearly, you see that they were all asking the president to come and invest in their countries, respective countries. So maybe it was a strategic meeting just to woo American investors, but we wait the turn of President John Mahama so we can also advance our cause.
I would say that ECOWAS should be ECOWAS, Economic Community of West African States. The economic should make sense, right? We should get together. We should plan. We should have a strategy of dealing with the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Because look, ECOWAS is big. If you look at Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire alone, we control the cocoa trade, but we don't get enough anyway. So we need to have a strategy, and going individually doesn't give us any better bargaining strength. So
stronger
we need
together.
to do that. Anyway, let's go to
just a few more before we go. There's also talk about the National Cathedral Board. The board is rejecting, the plan by the NDC administration to convert the cathedral into a cultural center. Yesterday, I engaged the presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, Professor Asamoah Gyedu, who was indicating that there should be broader consultation, dialogue on this, because you don't, quote, throw the baby away with the bathwater. So it appears that Christendom is asking for alternatives to this. They seem to be asking that we take a second look at that decision. Minority takes on government over UN gay vote, and then murdered immigration officer body burnt, suspect arrested, and Ibrahim Mahama's 100 million black voter gold deal catches fire.
If you go to the Ghanaian publisher, LGBTQ plus vote abstention, government sold out Ghana's values. This is Jinapo, not John. This is Samuel Jinapo. And NPP back in Ablekuma North race rallies behind Afriyie, and whatever happens today will be will make a big statement, right? Indeed. If Afriyie wins, what happens to Justin Kodia Frimpong, aka Super, the general secretary of the NPP? He said we're not going to run, right? Yeah. If they lose, then it gives him some credit, right?
But I think beyond that as well, Kodia's point was that, well, they believe they won the election. So if you're conceding again that you want to do a rerun, it's as though you are, putting away all the claims you had made earlier that indeed the NPP won the election. So probably that was his concern.
There are some other people
at the time,
who also say that seat has been for the NPP since it was created. So why not? If you've won and you're being cheated, prove to the world that it's your seat and you can win it easily. But we wish them all the best anyway.
Let's do a little bit of business, because the Business and Financial Times is also out today. Standard Chartered declares dividend at 55th annual general meeting, highlights capital preservation, innovation and sustainability as pillars for growth. So congratulations to Standard Chartered there. They are here for good indeed. And savings and loans sector hits 10 billion Ghana cedis in assets. So that sector is also growing steadily. Regulatory delays cost 30 million cedis weekly. That's in terms of demurrage at the ports. So Some are blaming it on the Environmental Protection Agency. Some say it's the Standard Authority's problem. The BNFT has been doing some analysis on that. And government to overhaul GIPC Act, I think it's long overdue, if you want to put it that way, because we need more investments moving into
so
this
savings
country.
and loans assets hit 10 billion Ghana cedis.
Yes. That's the figure now, and it's quite a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
Looking at how over the period the savings and loans sector has been, facing some regulatory issues. There was the recapitalization. A lot of issues happened in that sector, but even as we speak, their assets are growing. And in fact, all of this is coming up at the annual general meeting of the savings and loans companies, and that's where it has been revealed by the chief executive of their association, Trini Boakodia Boache. He's highlighting that the sector's increase grew drastically year on year in assets. As we speak, quote, as we speak now, the assets have surpassed 10 billion Ghana cedis in capacity. So quite some good,
guess the
good
value
indication for the small scale
of the
sector.
assets under management by our pension funds.
Tell me.
Savings and loans is about 10 billion, right?
Yes.
It's projected that pension funds will have an AUM of about 100 billion Ghana cedis. And there are a lot of people saying that we should turn to the pension funds to drive key infrastructure projects,
Right.
because we can get long-term patient capital from the pension funds. So for affordable housing, for road construction, all those things. So savings and loans is doing well, 10 billion.
Yeah.
It means that the informal sector is being served
growing,
some way,
it's
somehow,
growing.
because the savings and loans do a lot more for the informal market. So that's really good.
I think that's why we should also be lauding, that move Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was championing about financial inclusion. It was a key point that many underestimated, because if you have, our backbone is the informal sector, so you can't do without them. We need to find a way to draw them in.
Let's wrap up with the Inquisitor newspaper. NPP flag bearership race, Educhum struggles. That's on the front page. Upon Fosu chairs GIPC board. You mentioned earlier that the act is going to be reviewed, and MPs visit the Tree Crops Development Authority to understand operation. So those are the newspaper headlines. We are going to go online for the online news review.
Okay, we get into it now. MyJoyOnline.com is using the word showdown. The last time someone used showdown in this country, there was indeed a showdown. So kudos to the guys at the top there. Showdown in Ablekuma North as voters return to the polls amid party rift and court drama. That's in relation to the rerun of the elections. We'll be going into details a bit. There'll be no military deployment in the rerun. That's according to the defense minister. So he's making that clear. And indeed, we all agree together with CSO, and the entire country says, well, the police should be leading that election security arrangement. ENP has more resources, giving 7 days to resolve feud, and Ablekuma North rerun security plans to follow. And if you want to know a bit more about that, we'll give you the protocol for today. Ablekuma North rerun, EC defense use of scant pink sheets, and third-tier pensions failing private sector. So Kujo, you were talking about how the pension funds should be put to judicious use. Then we move to City Newsroom Online. It's also talking obviously about the elections. Ablekuma North votes in crucial parliamentary rerun. Then NDC will win Ablekuma North rerun. That's according to Now Dole Soa. Ablekuma North Afriyie deserves support. That's according to the constituency secretary. Well, he seems to have a different view from their national secretary, who says, well, we don't have to do this rerun because we won the election. So some of the stories there online for you.
You know the pension story. Nano Sebonsu is speaking on pensions. There's one, he says, let pensions work for Ghanaian businesses.
Yes, exactly.
Let's get that detail, because look,
now
pensions are important.
Let me just quote him here. He says, quote, cost of credit is high. Access to adequate capital formation is very low. Very important in our environment. Capital formation is difficult, he believes. And so based on that, he's saying, quote, our pension scheme provides long-term capital for everybody, but we have enough. And that's one of the areas that we propose are meeting with the management team of the government to talk about how do we increase capital formation. That's the question he's asking.
So how do we use our pension funds to fund businesses,
Yes.
increase capital formation, drop interest rates? A lot of things can be done with the pension funds, and Nana Osei-Bonsu is speaking about it. Now
I think
let's
that
look at
very often needs attempts to minimize risk. So that's what the challenge is. If you have most of our MSMEs in the informal sector, giving them capital is quite a big deal.
how about those
You
in the
don't want to
formal
play with
sector?
people's money.
How about those in the formal sector who are looking for money?
Well, yeah.
You can easily use pension funds to fund affordable housing, right?
Yes, true.
We needed money to construct the Tema motorway. Back then, when the numbers were done, we said we needed $500 million to construct the motorway. You construct it, you toll it. It's long-term investment.
Then you
so,
get
yes.
the funds.
We need money to build roads, to build bridges, to build tollable assets and rentable assets. Even for if we need to build an oil refinery, for example, a tolling plant, you can use your pension funds to build it. People bring their crude, they refine. So many opportunities with the pension funds. Anyway, let's give you some history of the Ablekuma North constituency, right?
Yes.
Past MPs, Kwame Nabatels,
Yes.
96 to 2008. So he had about 3 terms.
Yes.
Then Justice J. Appiah came 2008 to 2016. He had 2 terms. Nana Akua, the lady contesting on the ticket of the NPP now, was an MP in the same constituency from 2016 to 2020. She was displaced by Sheila Battels, who is Kwame Nabatels' daughter, who won in 2020 and lost the parliamentary primaries in 2024 to Nana Afriyie. And Nana Afriyie is now trying to fight her way back.
She's had a bite at it, and I'm sure that's why she's very passionate. She wants to be vindicated. That, well, the reason for which we took out the Battels team is for me to make a statement and to bring back this, or to retain the seat for the NPP. It will be a big deal for her, knowing that the seat has always been for the NPP, and now, just when she's making a comeback, the NDC will snatch that away from her. I think that's why she's very passionate and wants to run and wants to make that statement that this is an area for the NPP. But I would say that for those who are saying, well, the NPP shouldn't lose this seat. It shouldn't come as a surprise if the NDC wins, right? Because even the biggest seat that belongs to the NPP in the Greater Accra region, the Domiko Avenya seat, is gone.
Is this also a test on Mahama?
I don't think necessarily.
You don't
I think
so,
it's much more about fallouts from the last elections. The wave is already there. So if it happens, no one should be hard on Akua Afriyie.